Standing on the computer, this might not be good.
Hey, fans of the Monday Movie Club with a butt in your face.
Oh my
This
God, he's
week,
sitting on the laptop.
nice. Tasha's wondering what the hell's going on right now.
That's funny.
This week we went to,
My email.
all right. Are you
It's
good?
No.
Okay. This week we went to the movies to see the new Superman movie, 2025. Too new to be on the Franken list, though. I'm Frank Gaffney, Metamorphosis of
Oh my God.
Okay? I think he knocked the computer over.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Godzilla Cat.
Catzilla.
Joel, Joel, with us as always. Joel Fenster, Mark Wotitz Gardner has the picture up. Goldfuck and Cringer's wreaking havoc.
Mm.
I think he just ate Amy. Oh no, there she is. Okay, good. And Annie King in the kitchen where she belongs. Hey Frank, why Superman? Well, we kind of did the MCU thing, James Gunn being an adjunct, I guess. And we do love Superman, so that's why. Okay, here's the plot. When Superman, played by David Corenswet, that it? Corenswet? Gets drawn into conflicts at home and abroad, his actions are questioned, giving tech billionaire Lex Luthor, Nicholas Holt, the opportunity to get the Man of Steel out of the way for good. Will intrepid reporter Lois Lane, played by Rachel Brosnahan, and Superman's four-legged companion Krypto, in the picture there, be able to help him before it's too late? That's from the interwebs. Is that Krypto? Oh, cute. How did it come out already?
I have ways.
Oh.
He knows a guy.
Natasha made it.
Yeah, Natasha made that. She made a fun. She pulled it out of her ass. These things come out like 2 weeks before the movie hits. So
nice. I
Are
like
they
it.
selling them at the movie theater?
No. The only thing
right.
about the movie theater is this.
Which is what?
I sprung for, because I was insane, the popcorn bucket. It's the Daily Planet thingamabob.
You put popcorn in there.
You could put popcorn in here.
Oh my God, I love it.
The guy was like, "Don't put the popcorn in there. Just take it home with you." Here's the popcorn.
Well,
That's really cool.
The cool
what
thing
is it?
It's just
it's a little news.
It's the news.
I get it. I was like, what the hell is it?
Yeah,
I hope it was less expensive than Galactus.
Oh, it was very less expensive than Galactus.
Okay.
And it came with a free refill. So
Not bad.
Which you didn't get.
No, we did get it.
Oh, so you put the refill in a normal bucket, please.
No, they gave us the original in the normal bucket, and then we went out for a refill to put in the normal bucket because Natasha and I were splitting it, and then we brought popcorn home because that's a lot of fucking popcorn for two people. But I figured let's get our money's worth because this thing was,
It depends who the two people are. Okay, here I'm wearing my Superman shirt, as is Joel.
Yes.
All right, so here's me in the movie. I forgot to bring my pad, so I couldn't do notes. But then I watched, stuff and figured out. Amy suggested watching reviews and stuff to see what things I actually wanted to mention. So they might be a little out of order here. But let me just say this.
Exactly what I was thinking when I wrote my stuff.
Yeah. Like, where did this happen before that? Writer and director James Gunn got so much right here. There's so much Superman crammed into this movie, and gratefully it's 2 hours, not one of those epic.
And 9 minutes.
Those are credits. Come on, those are credits, Joel. All right. And the film, I read the film takes inspiration from the comic book All-Star Superman from 2005. Joel?
Yes, it takes
inspiration. Read that one?
Yes, it did. It's a great comic book. There's actually an animated movie version of it. If anybody's ever interested in watching it, it's probably on HBO Max. It is a very good Superman story.
Oh, so he adapted an animated movie?
No, he didn't adapt that story. He took inspiration from it.
Inspiration.
Yeah, he took inspiration from a lot of Superman stories. But
I'm going to go through some of them because I felt like, wait, is this a new thing or is this from something we've seen already? Okay, so right from the beginning, it was very fun to see Bradley Cooper be Jor-El, and very interesting that Kal-El only heard part of the message and part of it was scrambled. I'm assuming that's a made-up thing,
Yes.
and very nice addition, I feel. And I really like that this was not an origin story. James Gunn is like, you know all of that already. We don't need to go over it again. So I think that really saved us a lot of time. And also the fact that uh, Superman and Lois were already an item saved us so much time. There was none of that finding out who he is and pursuing her and blah blah blah. Um, and that she knows he's Clark Kent, Superman. All good. And David Corenswet and Rachel Brosnahan are perfect together. They have great chemistry. That whole, it must have been like 10-minute scene where she's interviewing him. So great. The two of them were just so much fun. So much fun. So much fun to watch. And Jimmy Olsen got a new job. He's not a photographer anymore. He's an actual reporter. Why does he have a desk? He didn't have a desk before.
No, he didn't have a desk. That's what he got, is a desk.
That's it.
Job.
But he's still a photographer?
Still a photographer, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which, is weird in, the 21st century when newspapers, print papers are dying anyway, but that's a whole other discussion.
Superman gets his ass kicked by the Hammer of Boravia as the movie opens.
Although, I'm sorry to interject, that they just posted it online anyway, the story.
Yeah, I know.
The Hammer of Boravia is controlled by Lex Luthor, we find out. Perfectly played by Nicholas Hoult. Also very good. Miss Tessmacher, great to see her. This girl was very cute, and I love, again, the great twist of it. Should I say what it was? But
yeah,
I really enjoyed that. And, and she was, and I thought, oh my God, she's a typical taking selfies every 5 minutes. And then it turned out to be the thing that saved them. And then Otis is, okay.
I was going to say she's become the DC Universe version of Madison from the MCU on She-Hulk.
I get the joke.
Okay. And Otis is in this movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank God there's Otis. And then I noticed in the credits that he's listed as Otis Berg.
Yes,
which
he is
a funny thing because
sure.
In the 1978 Superman, one of the little countries he wanted it to be Otisburg.
Oh yeah.
And he penciled in on his own.
Yeah.
Otisburg.
Usually he either doesn't have a last name, or in I forget whether it was Smallville or Supergirl, his last name was Mercer. So
yeah, Berg is funny.
Yeah.
And then Superman calls Krypto to save him. I don't know how he whistled if he had punctured lungs, but okay, whatever. And Krypto was a brilliant addition to the movie too.
Sure.
So much fun, so much like a real dog. And obviously, I think part of the problem was getting a dog to do the things they needed him to do. So here, part of it is a dog, most of it is animated, and so.
But the animation looked great.
Great. And then in the Fortress of Solitude, Superman has robots. Is this a new thing, Joel?
No, he's had them in the comic books every now and then.
Is it the first time we've seen them in a movie?
Depends on what you define as a robot, because in Man of Steel or Batman versus Superman, I forget which one, there are they don't look like these type of robots. They're like little flying robot things that show him crap.
No. Okay, well. And here the main robot number 4 is voiced by Alan Tudyk, who we love. Okay. And then he gets solar radiation therapy. He gets his power from the sun. I don't remember that element, but okay.
That's always
way back. Yeah.
And then they call, and right at the beginning of the opening titles, it's called him a metahuman. Has this been a thing?
Well, by definition, he wouldn't be a metahuman because he's technically not human, but the concept of metahumans as a term for superheroes has been a thing for a while. So
okay, but not related to our Superman.
Not related to Superman at all, because as I
Right.
said, he's not human.
He's not human.
Yeah, but that's fine.
And then the woke part, which some people have complained about. In this movie, Superman is often referred to as a Kryptonian and always an alien. And James Gunn, I think, even said this was an immigrant story, and he is America, and he's an immigrant. So do with that what you will. In 1978, well, he definitely made a point of saying he was an alien and a Kryptonian. I don't ever remember anybody calling him a Kryptonian, but
He's always referred to as a Kryptonian because he's from Krypton.
Yeah, I know, but not in this way of saying he's not one of us. He was always American. He was always an American.
Man of Steel kind of plays it even.
Do we have to talk about that movie?
Well, in this case, yes, because your Man of Steel is really playing up that factor that he is an alien amongst us, a god. Right. It's still a terrible movie, but you know.
And in 1978, one of the taglines for the Superman the movie was "You will believe a man can fly." And this movie, good Lord, you believe a man can fly. It is so beautiful to watch him flying. Beautiful. Okay, and in this movie, it's called Luthor Corp and not LexCorp. Why Luthor Corp and not LexCorp?
Do you want a real reason or just a speculation?
Oh, whatever, Joel. Speculation.
How often do companies get named after the first name of the person who runs it?
Yeah.
So in reality, it would have been Luthor Corp, and it's been Luthor Corp in other things as well. So
but wasn't it LexCorp?
It's been LexCorp as well, depending on who's running the show.
And the 1978 movie is very much in New York. This didn't look like New York.
Well, it's in Metropolis. Yeah. both are set in Metropolis, just that the 78 version happened to look like New York. This actually is in James Gunn stated in an interview. It's in Delaware. So that's where the Metropolis exists, in Delaware.
So the skyline was Delaware?
No. Well, Delaware's a state. It's not going to have a skyline. That's too big.
All right, and then we have the Justice Gang, Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, and Hawkgirl. I assume they are all part of Justice.
They are all
to become the Justice League later on, or this?
They are all characters who have appeared in DC Comics over the last 80 years in various incarnations, of the Justice, whatever you want to call it.
Gang.
Yeah, Mr. Terrific was originally part of the Justice Society. I don't know if he ever became part of the Justice League. Guy Gardner has been part of the Justice League. Hawkgirl has been part of.
So the Justice League is after the Justice Gang?
There is no Justice Gang in the comic books. That's the
it's made up.
Yes. Okay. In the comics, it was the Justice Society and then the Justice League.
Okay, but the outside of the Hall of Justice looked perfectly like the Justice League.
Well, actually, that would be the Super Friends, because that's where that comes from.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. It looked like the cartoon.
Yeah, well, because that was based off of a real life location, so that's what they used.
And where's that?
Delaware.
It's not in Delaware. I think it's like Chicago or Cincinnati or something like that. It's a train station in a major city.
Okay.
And they use the actual train station.
I believe so for this, yes.
Because they're outside and inside of it.
Yeah.
All right. And have we ever heard of a pocket universe before?
Oh my God. Yes.
God, Frank.
Aim, you're just as lost as I am. Don't even try.
God, Frank.
Yeah, no, I've never heard that either, and I used to read
it.
It's been used in the comic books. It's been used in.
Have we seen it in movies before?
I don't know that you've seen it in a movie specifically, but it was in the Arrowverse. They're all over.
Yeah,
I have one right over here. So.
That's where you keep Natasha.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, and then I'm sorry, there were so many new elements. I'm like, do I know about this or not? Hypno glasses. For years, we've talked about how Clark can't
Yeah.
puts on the glasses and the Green Lantern says, "Well, then you know about the hypno glasses." I'm like, "No, I don't. What are you talking about?"
Yes.
Did they make that up for this movie because they were so tired of hearing that?
Nope. It's
Yeah.
actually from a comic book issue back in the like 50s or 60s.
How come they never mentioned it before?
Because
Then
when
we
you
wouldn't
have-
have this stupid thing of he just puts on glasses.
when
Then
you
the
have-
glasses are making people see him like a different thing.
when you have that many years of stories to pull from, certain things are going to fall through the cracks because nobody's looking for them.
Right.
James Gunn is a walking comic book encyclopedia.
Obviously.
So he knew
Obviously.
where to pull things from, and it's like, well, we've never used this before.
Well, I thought maybe he just pulled this one from his ass. That's what I was thinking.
Well, he did. It's just his ass happens to contain a 1950s comic book issue that nobody remembers.
Well, I think the hypno glasses would have been very useful in 1978.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Frank.
Then we wouldn't have been like, the fudge. All right. And I'm not even sure how I feel about this. And yes, Aim, we're going to talk about this for an hour.
I do have places to be today, kids.
That Clark's parents being from Kansas, maybe they would have an accent.
Yep.
They've never been played that way. They've always been played as this generic American accent people.
Yes.
And
They would not sound
I-
Southern.
I don't know if was that a Kansas accent? I don't even
Yes. Yeah. James Gunn and Vince Pruitt Taylor. I can never remember
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
the name order is for him anymore. I'm too old to remember shit like that. But anyway, they apparently James Gunn has a relative who is from Kansas, and they recorded their lines into a recording device to play
So
back. So they
so
got the
Dorothy-
accent from. Yeah.
So Dorothy Gale recorded the lines for them. Okay,
Yeah.
great. But I think they were just a little too rural for my
Bumpkins.
tastes. Country bumpkins. Yeah, a little bit. And then when I definitely thought when I was watching it, but then obviously we found out, I was like, how did Lex just get into the fortress of solitude? You got to get in with it.
You knew that they were going
There was something going on, and then
Sure.
of course we find out what.
Yeah.
And don't call me Chief. I felt like Wendell, what's his name? Pierce?
Yeah.
Really underused here. I thought.
Why was he even in this movie? That's one of my
Yeah.
notes. It was a shame.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Well, the whole Daily Planet staff to me was underused. You know.
yeah. And don't call me Chief. At least he got to say that.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved it when Superman finally meets Lex Luthor. He's calm as fuck, and with the whole "Where's that dog?" Oh my god! I'm like, yes, like the dog. That was beautiful. And then John Cena, very
Little
funny.
cameo.
the Peacemaker, and then they go to that pocket universe. Which Metamorpho is that? That's why I made my name Metaforso Mismo. I really liked him.
Oh my God.
So sweet. And he's a character, I assume, too, from the comic
Yes.
books.
Yes.
And then Baby Joey.
And he was played by what's his nuts from Barry. I have it in my notes. The bald guy,
Anthony
Anthony something. With
Yeah,
the
look
Anthony
him up.
Carrigal. Anthony
Anthony
Carrigal.
Carrigal. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
But it starts with a C. So
Yeah.
It's like Carrigan.
Like
Carrigan.
one letter away.
It's like two letters different from Anthony.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a Terrificon this summer, but he just canceled. So
Aw, we love him.
I've never seen him in anything.
Oh, you got to watch Barry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Barry's very good. All right, and then I did crack up at the garage door.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what Danielle said. Oh, they got a remote.
That was very, very good.
Oh my gosh, that was funny. And then we got the clone of Superman, and then
Oh
we
my God.
understand what the hell happened. And some things were just great visually when Superman punched the guy and the teeth hit the camera. That was great. Just great. So much fun. And then at the end with the Kansas videos now being the thing that soothed him instead of the ones from Krypton. The only problem for me there is I mean, they spent so much money on this movie. They could have spent $5 more to actually make the parents look younger, not just put gross wigs on them. It looked horrible. They looked terrible with the black wig and like, no. Okay, so all good for me. And I said under 2 hours, which I loved. 3.5 stars for me. This is the best, quote me, best Superman movie since 1978. Absolutely for me. Aim. Now you weren't a big fan of Superman and Superman 2. You didn't give it big stars.
No, I told Frank I looked back at our reviews for 1 and 2, just the star wattage, and I gave 1 3 stars, was it?
Yeah.
And 2 like 2.25 stars. So I was like, yeah. But I had seen 3 as we discussed, and I did record it. I'm still waiting to actually watch it. I never saw Man of Steel. Not a big superhero fan at all, but I did enjoy this one.
And
And
yet
I
you're in this group.
And what?
I said, and yet you're in this group.
I know.
Our superhero group.
Yeah.
But it's funny,
Wait, did anybody find out what Jerry Seinfeld thought of this Superman movie?
Yeah, right? I'd love to know.
I thought we were doing that.
I don't
Yeah.
care.
Annie, look it up while you're waiting.
Yeah. I love the opening titles with the 3,300, 3 minutes, whatever. 15, was it 3 or 15? I just love that.
It was 33333. Is that something, Joel?
Yeah, it's a lot of threes.
Yeah.
Was
I-
he making a statement?
He was making a statement that, we're ignoring any possible origin, and this is all you're getting as we
I was
start.
going to say he did
Yeah.
an origin in under a minute. Yeah.
I love it.
Maybe it was 3 minutes.
Nah.
Yeah. I'm not sure though how I felt about just reading everything and jumping right into it. I don't think it bothered me, but I wonder how different it would have been. But then the movie would have been longer, so we don't need that. I found Superman to be very brooding, and I'm not sure. I mean, I could be remembering wrong because it's
Wait a second. Did you say you didn't see The Man of Steel?
correct.
Okay,
You
then you
should
know
have-
what brooding is.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
a lot
really?
there's a lot of
Way,
brooding.
way
A lot of
worse than that
brooding.
one.
Is he as a character in the comics?
No, almost never.
No.
I really felt like this movie was much more upbeat, if that's the word I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the comedy, the jokes in this movie works. Unlike so many of these superhero movies, he knows how to do it.
James Gunn. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look at
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Thank you. Exactly what I was thinking. I did love Rachel Brosnahan as Lois. We know her aunt was Kate Spade, right? And the absolute shock.
Okay, and she is the marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Well, yeah, but everybody knows that. I did love Rachel as Lois Lane, and the absolute shock in her apartment when it was revealed that she knew Clark was Superman was fabulous. Does
Yeah.
she know that in the comics?
Eventually.
On where we're at with things.
I
Eventually
love
she-
my jaw dropped, and it was just glossed over in the movie, and not even care in the world. And I was like, oh my God, we both love that. My favorite scene in the movie was when she interviewed Superman. I could have
Yeah,
watched another
loved it.
30 minutes of that
Loved
interview.
it.
Brilliant. I loved Metamorpho as a character. I certainly didn't know. But of course he had a heart and was sweet. And thanks to Barry, I love Anthony Carrigan.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Anthony Carrigal. You love
Yeah.
Anthony Carrigal.
I didn't even know that was him, and I loved his whole storyline with Superman. And of course, you knew he was going to become the hot man with the heart of gold, but I still loved it, or the creature. I love the Justice Gang, especially the 2 guys. Unfortunately, Hawkgirl wasn't written to be nearly as fun as the men, which is pretty typical. I loved the guys. And every time he kept saying Justice Gang, because I don't know the Justice League at all, I thought these 3 characters are part of the Justice League, and they just haven't really tweaked the name yet. So
Well,
what you
that's the joke in the movie, is that
Yeah.
Guy Gardner wants to call it the Justice Gang, and the rest of them are like, it's a work in progress.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, which is funny, because this way you're not using Justice League as something where,
Right.
as
And
any.
and Nathan Fillion is just adorable.
Oh my God, we love him.
Admittedly, I thought he was going to play too old as Guy, but he didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely too old.
Yeah.
Sorry. He's definitely too old.
Oh, no, but,
But-
it worked for me. I wasn't sure
Yeah.
if it did. So anyway.
His jokes absolutely landed a lot for me as well. I didn't love Lex Luthor because he seemed very one-dimensional to me, to the point of parody. And you know how I feel about one-dimensional characters who are always just feeling this one way. So he was a little annoying. But I did love when and I wrote this later, but it just reminded me, I loved when he was telling whoever he was telling what punches to do, like 1A and B57. Now I feel like I'm playing hit.
Bingo.
No,
Battleship.
Battleship, yeah.
Battleship.
I loved that, especially when the big one was like A1 or B1, whichever. I loved.
1A was the one
1A,
that
1A, yeah.
kept punching him in the face.
Love,
1A,
love,
1A,
love.
1A, 1A.
Oh yes. I love that scene. One time I felt
He
that
was definitely playing a video game. It was great.
yeah.
The other thing that he did that I definitely thought was great was when whenever he would be really annoyed, he would like suck in his teeth like "Urgh," like he was trying to control himself. I'm like, that's funny.
Yeah. I don't really quite remember that, surprisingly. I felt that what was at stake was so high that there was no chance we weren't going to have everything tied up neatly. The friend I
Yeah.
went with, who I'm tagging in this, so hi, Malene, was so nervous for crypto, for example, and I leaned over and I said, of course he's going to live. All the good people are going to live. If the stakes were lower, maybe there could have been at least one failure. So it was a little too, well, you know how this is going to end. Even though all the little, go ahead.
That's what we want.
Well, of course, you want a happy ending. I get
Yeah.
that. At one point, I wanted to look at the time, and I thought, nowhere. Oh, when you text, it doesn't make sense. At one point, I wanted to look at the time, and I thought, no, we're well into the movie. And then an hour and a half later, I looked at my phone, and we were only an hour and 15 minutes into the movie. I thought for sure we had like 30 minutes to go. So it did. There was a lot of points towards the middle and into the end where it was very draggy, and I would have cut 10, 15 minutes, even though it was only 2:09. Thank God. I'm sorry.
It was a lot. It was a lot crammed into it.
Yeah.
It really was.
I didn't understand Tessmacher, her raging crush on Jimmy Olsen. Is that part?
Yeah.
What was that
Did you
about?
not get? Did you
The
not
whole
get?
thing. He's
you not
like
get
he's
the
like
other
a
girls?
dog. Yeah, the other
The
girls,
other girls
were
were
like,
all.
oh.
Everyone loved Jimmy. Apparently, all the
Yeah.
ladies loved him.
I
He-
didn't even
he's-
realize that.
No, he's obviously packing.
Yeah,
I guess so.
He's the
Because,
real.
yeah, there was one little scene where two girls were
Yeah.
like at a mail cart or something,
And they're like,
and they were
"Ah."
looking at him like, "Oh my God!"
And Clark is right next to him, and they're not looking at Clark. They're looking
No.
at Jimmy.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. But
Yeah,
there was
yeah,
like no, it was weird that there was no reason why, no explanation. I
Yeah.
don't know what was going on there.
He's a player.
My second to last quote is line is, why was Perry White in this movie at all? And finally, I love the subtle hints of John Williams' score throughout, and I really loved when they were driving on the highway, we saw a sign that said Gotham City. That was adorable. And
Yeah.
too much
Well-
going on.
Well, if but Metropolis is in Delaware, Gotham City's in New Jersey, right?
Probably.
They're both Manhattan. Come on. Too much going on. It felt like more than 2 hours and 10 minutes. So I'm giving it, even though I really enjoyed it, 3.25 stars. And I would definitely watch it again. I'm sorry it took so long.
So, Mark, you hated the interview scene.
I will
Yeah,
say,
your reaction when Frank mentioned it was way
Yeah.
off base. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was surprised you guys liked it so much. Let me go to my notes here.
Aren't you mature and sophisticated?
Yeah, hello. That was
I-
all that.
I thought Rachel Brosnahan was absolutely perfect. She was a bulldog, which is what Lois Lane is. She wants that interview. She was going for it. I thought his reactions were not very Superman-y. He was kind of arrogant,
Well,
boastful. I stopped
No, I
him.
think
I
in
wasn't-
the beginning he was definitely Clark loving Lois, and then he got a little pissed off at her because their relationship is such that you think she wouldn't be pushing those buttons. And he's
Then
like,
he doesn't know.
wait
I
a
mean, I
minute.
know. Of course she was.
He's
That's
a
Lois Lane.
reporter. Yeah.
Yes,
he's not gonna
exactly.
say-
And he's not ready for it. He's not prepared for it.
I
So
thought
he
it was
just-
fake drama just to make drama. I wasn't a big fan of that whole scene. I will say that I loved, as Amy just mentioned, I loved this version of the theme song, and glad it was played throughout. And then I think they played the original during the actual credits for a little bit. David Cornsweet seems to be the weakest Superman. He was constantly getting injured and his ass kicked, and I mean, like, constantly needing to be healed and pampered. I don't know. I feel like I think I did read that James Gunn wanted him to be a little bit more vulnerable, but I thought it was again, it was a different take on Superman that I didn't love. I thought the part where the engineer is trying to suffocate him and the henchman saying he only has minutes before dying was dumb as well. I know I'm complaining a lot, but I did love the movie, just so you know. Uh, if Superman can exist in the vacuum of space, he doesn't need to breathe, really. And having them saying it's in his lungs and all this stuff and he's going to die, I don't know. I just thought that was just a little silly. I loved Crypto, of course. All the principals are great, and unlike Amy, I actually thought Nicholas Holt really stood out for me. I thought he was fantastic. And just as a quick aside, I saw a little interview the other day with Nicholas Holt and David Corenswet, and Nicholas Holt went he auditioned for Superman, and David Cornsweet was there the same day, and he saw him in the hall, and he stood up to shake his hand, and he was like, "Oh shit, he's about an inch taller than me. He's got the dark hair. I'm not getting this job," you know. So I thought that was great. Um, I mentioned here all the hot girls, especially Tessmacher, Loving Jimmy was a bit silly, but it worked for me. It was kind of funny. And I've never heard of Mr. Terrific before. I'm not a DC guy, as I tell Joel all the time. I know some of the characters a lot, but I thought he was great as well. That reporter, Cat Grant, was hot. I thought it was good, but not quite great. And I think last week, given 3.33 stars to Superman Returns, I think I was a little bit too heavy-handed in that. It was probably more like 3. So I'm going 3.33 for today as well. But this was definitely better than Superman Returns. So much of it I did like. I'm just complaining about little things here, but it really was. I think just fun is the word.
Very fun. And I think that the thing that I really did love about it, because you don't want Superman to be impervious. You want him to have flaws. Otherwise, like Amy said, everything's going to work out. Everything's going to be fun. So it was great to see that something could finally get to him.
Yes, but
It
that's
was
always
great.
going to happen with the kryptonite. But I felt like you think of the first Superman when when Lex puts the kryptonite over him, yeah, he's weak. But this one
Yeah.
he's just burning. He can't heal.
Oh my
And then
gosh. In the opening scene when he landed on the ice
yeah,
and the blood was coming, I'm like, I'm really liking this. This is great.
the
It's
last
something
we just
different.
watched a week ago, Brandon Routh had bullets bouncing off his eyeball and he was fine. And now this one, it's like, hey, I got a
Yeah.
paper cut. I can't heal. This is ridiculous. Just different versions.
Annie King.
Oh my God.
I'm not
Yeah.
finding that funny.
Yeah. I liked it. It was a lot of fun. But there were also parts that were just silly to me. Sorry. I thought the whole baby in that river thing where he's holding
Joey. Yeah.
was like ridiculous.
Agreed.
I love the garage door part. That was my favorite part. That was so. But what I didn't like about the movie is these characters that I really know nothing about, and they're just there, like Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, and Hawkgirl. Like there was nothing, no indication of anything about them. So that part I didn't like as much. I
So you're
definitely.
saying they were just foist upon us and you had no idea who they were and why they were.
That was James Gunn's way of saying this universe exists. This is a world
Right.
that exists. You don't need to know anything about these people
They're there.
They're there. You know.
Yeah, and I get that, so that later on they can have their own movies and stuff and their own
Yeah.
origin stories, but I just didn't feel there was any inkling of anything. Like they didn't say one sentence about.
Right. I mean, where you can assume we all know the Superman story. We know nothing about those three. It's like, what? Yeah, I could see that for sure.
Right. That was a little. I thought like Green Lantern, he looked like dorky.
I didn't
And
even
Definitely.
realize that was Green Lantern until maybe the
Yeah.
end of the movie. I was like,
Yeah.
what is this guy's doing? What is his power? I don't
That
get it.
haircut was hysterical.
I was like,
That's what that character looks like in the comic books. Right
Not
down-
maybe. Even in the recent ones, that looked like it was something like from the 50s, that haircut.
That's the Guy Gardner's haircut has looked like that ever since he was created.
Joel, is Guy Gardner the original Green Lantern? Who was the one that Ryan Reynolds played?
Ryan Reynolds played Hal Jordan.
Yes. Okay.
And he looks different.
Yes,
Kind of a
He's
bold.
a-
He looks like Ryan Reynolds.
he's a completely different Green Lantern. So
And that's a recent one or
Right,
an
it's
older
just
one?
the ring that gives them the power.
right, exactly. So let Annie finish, and I will fill in all the backstory that you're not going to care about. So
Yes. The same
Joel, we have one fan. One.
the same way while I love Crypto, the same way I felt about like throwing Supergirl in there, like as a last minute thing, like, oh, thanks for watching my dog, you know?
Well,
And
she's coming up next year.
yeah, that's the setup for the next movie. So
yeah, I get that. That's the setup, but I felt there could have been just a little bit more. Like
I thought that was a very funny moment.
yeah,
it was
Very funny.
funny, definitely, yeah. But and like when he said he was fostering, it's not really my dog, I'm just fostering kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Very
yeah.
cute.
And didn't she call him a bitch? at the
Yeah.
end? Yeah. Very funny. Very funny.
So yeah, I mean, I think Danny didn't love it as much as I did. We both felt Lois missed a little something in her
Hmm.
that we didn't feel she was as
As
perfect.
as Lois as she needed to be.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it a lot, and I guess it's like watching maybe Iron Man for the first time, and you're like not sure what's all the other stuff going on, and it'll get
Makes sense.
connected in some
Yeah.
way.
Right.
So when I go back to watch this in 3 or 4 years, I'll love it a lot more.
Especially after seeing the Justice League or whatever they're going to have out in the next few years,
Right.
where you know
And
these characters so
Supergirl
much more
coming
now.
up.
Yeah.
I love how you all cutely think that in the next few years, this is a 10-year plan they're working on.
When
So
I
That's
go back to watch
Joel,
this
that is the
in
next
10
few years. 10 years ago was 2000.
I understand that, but 10 years ago is 2000. Is that what
Wait a
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll probably enjoy it a lot more when other things get explained and, get involved and everything. But 3.25 for me.
Joel, now please don't explain the 800 Easter eggs in the movie
Melvin.
because I'm sure they're there.
There are a lot of Easter eggs that were so subtle and sublime and beautiful to a comic book fan who knows the DC universe. And I
Oh,
understand
wait,
Is that you?
what?
one more thing.
Okay.
Like, where's Wonder Woman and Batman? Aren't they?
Yes.
Your
Listen
head-
to what
No,
Joel just said.
Joel,
They're
that's it.
building. They're building a universe. Think about Iron Man 1. Was everyone in Iron Man 1? No, you have to wait for Avengers.
No, Joel, that's it right there.
What?
That's what the 3 is all about. Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman.
Sure,
That's
there
the
you
3.
go. Sure.
They're the 3.
That's why he picked 3.
That's why he picked 3.
Okay. I can go with that. I can go with that. I'm just going to give you one quick example of one of those Easter eggs, and then move on to the rest of the movie.
All right, so you were sitting there. So you are the DC comic guy.
Of
Is
this
that what you're
group.
saying?
Yes. of
That's
this
what you're
group.
saying.
Yes.
All right. So you were quelling.
There was a lot I was failing about. Not everything. There were some things I found fault with. But
Right.
there's one Easter egg that I just thought it's subtle and brilliant when the Justice Gang confronts Superman inside the building. I forget where exactly it was or what had just happened. I think the crowd had kind of turned on him after the announcement that the second half of the recording from his parents was about them invading.
Right.
The name of the building on the inside is the Stagg Building, Stagg.
Right. The Superman runs in there to get away from the crowd.
Right.
Yeah.
So the Stagg Building, or Stagg in the comic books, is the name of the billionaire scientist who created Metamorpho.
Ah, that is subtle.
It's a very subtle thing. It was nice to see. It was like I clocked it in my head and moved on. But there's a lot of those in the movie.
Give us an Easter egg that we would really get, but we wouldn't have noticed. Like
All right,
Stag
wait.
means nothing.
So I just told you that 3. Come on.
I didn't know what you were
All right.
talking about when you kept saying 3.
In the beginning of the movie, it was like 3 million
oh.
years ago.
Right.
It was all threes.
And Batman,
Right.
Superman, and Wonder Woman are the three
The
heroes
three.
that make up
The three core DC
The
heroes.
leaders, yeah.
Joel,
Frank.
wait, if they're going to do DC right, who is the cameo equivalent of Stan Lee who's going to be in every movie?
There isn't one.
There's no DC Stan Lee?
There's no DC Stan Lee.
Oh,
There never
never
was.
mind.
Stan Lee, but the thing is, Stan Lee made himself the face of Marvel from the 60s on. And by that point,
Right.
you have to realize that DC Comics had been in existence for the previous 30 years before Marvel even existed. So, they just, I'm not getting into the history of the comic books. Anyway.
Finally.
All right. So
Anyway.
DC Comics is Oreos. Marvel is really
No,
Hydrox.
DC Comics is Coke. Marvel is Pepsi.
Pepsi. There
Wow,
you go.
all these analogies are so off base and wrong.
No, they're not.
I'm
Nope,
ignoring-
Marvel was younger and cooler. Like Pepsi.
I don't like Pepsi.
Oh,
so,
that's what I'm saying. I hate Pepsi.
yeah. Pepsi is like drinking carbonated water.
I was going to say
Doesn't
Pepsi.
matter, they were-
Carbon.
Coke almost went up, almost went under when Pepsi was killing it in the 80s. The Pepsi Challenge and all that stuff.
And now,
I'm just
They
saying.
put the cocaine back in Coke, and everybody loves it.
right, exactly. And they're
And,
going to put the
and-
sugar
and
back
real-
in.
real-
Excuse me.
Real cane sugar.
Sorry, we're digressing.
Yeah.
Joel, this is long
Okay.
enough already.
I know it is. Anyway,
That's what she said.
yeah.
She's never said
I
that.
really love the movie. I sat there watching it, and I knew going in that there were going to be things that would annoy me a little bit, and there were. I think the movie's perfectly cast, but I think there are certain characters who, while perfectly cast, are completely underused. They're really there to say, hey, we've got somebody in this part. You'll see them again at some point, but you're really not going to see them. I mean, it's, Perry White and
Yeah.
Ron Troop and Cat Grant and Steve Lombard and the rest of the Daily Planet staff. They're
Never heard of any of them.
I thought they made them up for this movie. Are those the real characters?
those are all real Daily Planet characters in the comic books,
Wow.
and they only get a name check for some of them once it's like, all right, we're all going in Mr. Terrific ship. Jimmy,
So is-
Perry, it's like the Mickey Mouse Club roll call.
So, Joel, is that the same for Lex Luthor's, all the people running the computers? There was one guy who was so weirdly with the glasses and the hair. Is that a character from
It's not
DC?
somebody that I've ever registered as.
Yeah,
Lex
I'm
Luthor-
like, this guy has got to be based on something. Nobody's going to come in with those glasses and that hair.
to my knowledge, no. Usually in the comic books, Lex is usually surrounded by no-name
Henchmen.
and scientists and thugs and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
He really didn't get sidekicks that had names until after the 78 movie, when it's like, okay, well, he had Otis and Miss Tessmacher there.
Right.
Let's give him an
But
Otis.
then they added them to the comic book.
Yeah, the only other big name person that works with Lex Luthor would be Mercy Graves. She actually started in the animated Superman series as his chauffeur, but she's also his bodyguard. She's a great character. I'm sure we'll see her at some point.
All right, sorry, I sidetracked you.
Yeah, it's
Go
okay.
on.
It's okay.
Go back to the.
So that was my
You
big
sat.
point, is that you had these characters that are part of the Superman mythos.
Oh, I mean, great that they're there.
No, it's nice to see them, but I think we needed a little more of them. The other person that I thought we did. The other person we really needed a little more of was Clark Kent. I think David Corenswet's Clark Kent got a real short shrift in this film. I know it's all about Superman, but I'm not sure of his Clark Kent yet at the end of this movie.
Well, this is what I really liked about his Clark Kent. The hair, first of all, was very cute. And
Right.
the fact that he was like falling over stuff, he was awkward, he was trying not to look at people. It was all a very don't notice me kind of thing. And I really enjoyed that.
I enjoyed that. I just wanted more of him because there's no balance between those
Right.
characters in this
Well,
film.
I think part of that problem is because Lois already knows who he is. So
Sure.
he didn't have to do that.
I
clock.
understand for the story it works. It was just
Yeah.
a personal preference that I would have
Yeah,
liked
yeah.
to have seen. I think David Cornsweet and only having seen the movie once so far, is probably my third favorite Superman right now.
Who's
Oh, I
number
loved
two?
him. I loved
Number
him.
two is
Who's
Tyler
number-
Hoechlin from
Oh, yeah,
Superman
I
and Lois
have
on
Oh
TV.
yeah, Tyler Oakley.
Yeah,
Haven't seen it.
I know what you mean, Joe.
So he kicks Brandon Routh down a spot.
And that's Susan, and that's Superman and Lois.
Yeah, Superman and Lois on
That was on the WB.
or the CW, whichever one you want to call it at that.
The
Right.
most recent incarnation.
And is that somewhere on Max? I would assume.
It's probably if it's not on Max, it's on Netflix. It's streaming somewhere. It's
Okay.
four
Superman and
seasons-
Lois,
Superman-
and that ran for like 4 years.
four seasons of about 15 episodes each.
Right.
And it's a really good incarnation of the character.
And so Tyler, whatever his name is,
Hoechlin.
is he a young person, like in his 20s?
No, he's in his mid 30s. The conceit of that show is that Lois and Clark are married and have children, teenage
Right.
boys. So they're bringing up teenage boys in Smallville because they've moved there to get away from life.
Oh, this is a whole made-up thing now.
No, it's not. It comes right out of the comic books.
He's too
Yeah.
short to be Superman, but otherwise I've heard very, very, very good things
Too
about him.
short.
He is. Well, he's not even 6 foot tall, I don't think.
I'll let you know in August because he's at Terrificon. So
I'll let you know right now.
All right, Annie, did you find out the answer to our question?
Yes, while he has not said anything about the new Superman movie, he has said that he
what was the
he
question?
wants to see more
Jerry
of the
Seinfeld.
relationship between Clark Kent and Superman.
See? Even Jerry Lewis,
Jerry Lewis.
Jerry Seinfeld felt the same way.
Yeah,
Um,
but nothing about the new movie.
I love the fact that this movie just starts in motion. You know, that Superman just falls out of the sky and he's injured, and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, this is not something we've seen before.
Yes,
Wow.
you did if you watched the trailer.
Well, yeah.
I didn't
love-
watch the trailer.
I love the fact that we do get a world that's already built. There are already superheroes that exist. I love that you kind of get a feel for who Guy Gardner and Mr. Terrific are. Hawkgirl, not so much. I think I hate to say that I think James Gunn was like, well, we need a female in here. It can't be Wonder Woman because we need her for something else.
Right.
The Justice League, and they went with Hawkgirl.
Do you know, does she scream like a banshee in the comics?
Oh,
too?
I have never heard that before.
I did not
so-
like that. Her screeching like that was just.
Unless they give us an explanation for it in a future film, they just need to not do that.
Yeah.
She's screaming like a hawk.
Yes,
Come
but
on.
still, the Hawks don't do that in the comic books. They never have, or in any other incarnation that they've been
Well,
in.
I mean, honestly, there's no sound in a comic book, so
Well, no, but I'm saying in other incarnations, we've seen both Hawkman and Hawkgirl, or Hawkwoman, depending on where you're at with the name. When we've seen them in other things, specifically on television, they have never had that power of screaming like a banshee.
They have lots of sounds in comic books. Pow, bam.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Squeak!
I loved aside from the interview scene, the other scene I loved was, and it's another Lois Superman scene, where in the background you've got, you know, the Justice Gang battling that interdimensional demon or whatever it is, and he's like, oh, they've got it. If they need me, they know how to find me. And it's literally, it's not distracting to the conversation that's going on, but it's a nice, brilliant little piece of minutia that it's like, yeah, these shit like this happens all the time.
Totally agree.
Yeah, and I also did very much love when at the end when they were in that mall, whatever it was, and they were just spinning up.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
it's so beautiful.
That was.
The other thing I really liked is, even though this is the first piece in wherever they're going, and it feels like James Gunn's plan is to, unless you absolutely positively have to create an origin story for a character, they're going to dribble it out for you so that it's not taking up the time of the movie.
Right.
And I love the fact that with that, even though this is the first thing, it really isn't, because he's bringing stuff in from stuff that's recently been done and picking and choosing what he wants to use and keep. And I think that's brilliant, because you get Peacemaker in this movie. Okay? Well, you know,
Wasn't he part of Peacemaker though?
Well,
James Gunn did Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
James Gunn did
Peacemaker.
the sequel to Suicide Squad called The Suicide
Yeah,
Squad.
yeah.
right,
And
The better one.
Peacemaker is a part of that movie. And then he got his own TV show spinoff, which will
right.
have
John
a second
Cena.
season starting at the end of August. Do you
Right.
have to watch any of that? No.
No.
Were any
Right.
characters from Peacemaker, other than Peacemaker,
I'm,
in?
I'm, I was about to get to that.
Okay.
There are some really interesting little Easter eggs in that sense. If you remember the scene, and part of this is because I've just watched or rewatched both Suicide Squad films, and I watched The Man of Steel and a few other things. There's a scene in the new movie where Lex Luthor is trying to sell the government on his plans to deal with Superman. There's a character in there is a black woman. Her name is Flo Crawley. You wouldn't know who the hell she is other than she's a government person. If you saw the Suicide Squad, and I know you did, Mark, yes?
Yes.
Do you remember the scene where Amanda Waller gets conked on the head with the golf club by one of her underlings?
Nope.
Okay.
But she did.
But she did. That's Flo Crawley. Same actress, same character. Moved
Oh.
right into this movie. You know,
Okay.
the other two people who are Amanda Waller's cronies in the Suicide Squad are part of the cast of Peacemaker. His James Gunn's wife, who plays
Right.
Emilia Harcourt, and John Economos. They're both in that movie as well, in that series as well. There's a lot of little things like that. Frank Grillo, who some of you might remember briefly as a character named Crossbones in the Captain America movies. He was the
Do you guys remember the elevator fight scene?
in Winter Soldier. No,
Yeah.
No,
two blank
okay.
faces, and Annie knows this stuff.
Yeah.
Frank Grillo played that character. He becomes Crossbones in the Marvel universe. He's in this movie. His character is Rick Flag Sr.
Yeah.
If you go back to the two Suicide Squad films, Joel Kinnaman played Rick Flag Jr. I'm going to spoil something. Peacemaker kills Rick Flag Jr. in the Suicide Squad. So, what is season 2 of Peacemaker going to deal with?
That?
Rick Flag Sr.
Yeah, Rick Flag Sr.
Yeah, because he had a very minor part in this.
Yeah,
and he
so-
wasn't, and he's an action guy, and he was very diplomatic.
So there's all these little connections. You don't need to know
Right.
them, but
Yeah.
it does expand things nicely. Now, what I will recommend, aside from saying Peacemaker's a fun fucking show, there is an animated series on HBO Max called Creature Commandos that Gunn has basically said is the soft opening to what they're doing. It's 7 episodes long. It's a twist on the Suicide Squad because they're not using supervillains. Now they're using like monsters to actually do the Suicide Squad's tasks. And Amanda Waller's a character still played by Viola Davis. She's going forward with all of this still. It is a fun show, and it handles the origins of these characters perfectly because it drops them in when you need to know.
Really? Viola Davis? I thought it was Viola Davis.
Whatever, viola, viola, violin.
Viola? Yeah, it's Viola,
Yeah.
right? All right, so now we have Creature Commandos, Superman and Lois, and Peacemaker on the list of shows now to add.
You don't have to watch Superman and Lois. It has no connection to this. It's just a really good show.
I want to see why Tyler Hoechlin is the better Superman than David Corenswet.
It just is. Because he has 4 seasons of episodes to have gone through, and this guy has 1 2-hour movie. So that could change over the course of time. Let's see where he
All right,
shows.
so Joel, give us the stars, will you?
3.75.
Oh.
And can you also agree with me that
No.
this is the best Superman movie since 1978?
Yes,
Thank
hands
you.
down.
Hands down.
Hands down. And honestly, in a second viewing or a third viewing, the star rating is probably going to go up. I'm excited to see where
Not
he's.
very far to go.
Yeah, I know, but still, it's it was a
And
great.
I say this, it's very rare for me to watch a movie once and give it 4 stars. I'm like,
I agree, but it does
I
happen.
need to make sure that what I'm seeing is what I'm seeing. I think part of it was the element of surprise that there were so many things in here that were, if I mean that, surprising, like him being vulnerable. And it was just so much fun. And I know for me and Joel, I'm sure, you go into these things with a certain anticipation level, and you're being much more critical than just an average moviegoer because you're like, they better get this shit right. And I was very, very
It
happily
did. As I said,
surprised.
the stuff that I'm complaining about is minor because I
There-
love the character so much. I want to see more of Perry White.
yes, yes, I agree.
Oh, wait,
And
before we
so
go,
these are nits to pick.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to make sure. I want to ask. I wasn't sure where they were going with it, but in the movie, did Superman's parents really was that message, the second part of the message, was it altered by Lex or was that real?
No, no, that was real.
I'm going with based on the fact that Mr. Terrific confirms that
Yeah.
that's what it really said.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going with, and it's a nice twist.
Yeah, I thought it was very nice.
I don't want them to do anything with it for a while. I want them
Yeah.
to leave it there
That's it.
and let it hang out there for a long time. You know, I'm
Yeah, 'cause
excited.
there's a lot to like now process with that, and you
Yeah.
know how he grew
Yeah.
up, and yeah,
And
how
I
he
like, but
changed.
I liked at the end when he plays the parents again and it's his adopted parents.
Yeah.
That was sweet.
That's a very American thing.
Yeah.
And the thing that I also like that they never spoke English.
Yeah.
His parents never spoke. I'm like, that was really good. And also the fact that this was never in a comic book. It was never in a movie. This was something James Gunn made up. Ay, ay, ay.
Which I love. But Frank, it reminds Joel when he was talking before, reminded me of the thing that you and I hate the most in the world is when every single person in a movie reacts the exact same way.
Yeah, yeah.
And as soon as people heard that about Superman, how horrible he is, everybody believed it and everybody hated him. Not one person said, "Is this really true?"
This is our
James
Superman.
Frank, where are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
Somebody
a good
should have
one.
been like, no, this is our Superman.
Yeah.
Let's hear his side of the story.
So
But you know, that is totally the internet today.
I'm going to say this about the Kryptonian invasion concept of that back half of the message. Yes, things like that have happened in the comic books. No, Jor-El has never really been involved in them. However, in the 20 years between Superman 4, the almost 20 years between Superman 4 and Superman Returns, there were multiple attempts at getting a new Superman movie off the ground. And at least 3 of them, if I remember correctly, had that as a concept, that Superman was actually sent to Earth as part of an invasion fleet.
Wow. It was
So-
new to us.
Huh.
I'm telling you, it's not new to James Gunn. So
Yeah, because obviously he had a team of people poring over every single thing, and he picked the things
I
that
don't
he
think
thought
he had
would
a
be
team
fun.
of people. I think it was all him,
Just him.
personally.
I agree. And they did kind of make a pretty bad horror movie. I forget the name of it, but it had Elizabeth Banks in it. What if
Right.
Superman really was bad
Yeah,
and it was like a
right.
kid with superpowers fucking
Yeah.
people up?
Brightburn, I think it's called.
Okay, something like that. Yeah.
There were so many things that I was like, this must be a thing. Like when the was it the fake Superman was no the big thing at the beginning.
The Hammer of
Hammer.
Moravia.
The Hammer of
Yeah.
Bravia
Which was really Ultraman.
used his laser vision like a Superman thing to eviscerate that whole staff of people.
Yeah.
I'm like, that looks like it's like an advertising company or something. And
Right.
I was like, is this thing something that we've seen?
I
Whatever the product was.
I loved the fact that James Gunn took 2 characters out of the Superman mythos, Ultraman and essentially Bizarro, and merged them into one character.
Oh, so that's the
That's right. It looked like a Bizarro.
Hammer.
You know who he looked like as Ultraman? He looked a little bit like Christian. What's his name in Revenge of the Sith when his hair was all long and
Oh,
crazy.
Christian Hayes, yeah.
Christian Jason, yeah.
Because in the comic books, Ultraman is actually from another universe, and he is the evil Superman of that universe. And he's all in blue and red and yellow, and he's got a big U instead of the S. And he leads the Crime Syndicate of America instead of the Justice League of America. And Bizarro is a Superman clone that Lex Luthor created. So now they're together as one
Okay.
character, and I thought that was really brilliant.
all right. Well, Joel, find out what product they were advertising.
I will do that.
Okay, so Superman is only in theaters. You can only go there. Next week, Amy is resigning from the movie club.
No, no, I know we discussed it, but then I looked and they're like 90-minute movies, and
Yeah.
I already watched them both.
Oh, nice.
Oh, did you watch them in the same day? Because if you
Yeah.
did, you're in trouble.
Back to back.
Then see, that tells me you can do double features.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Only when they're 90 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
And I
so
was off from work. Sorry.
in preparation for the new Fantastic Four movie coming up, Joel is making us tackle 2 of the previous Fantastic Four movies, both of which are on Disney Plus. That's right. I'm Frank Gaffney. Go watch a movie. Go watch this movie. I think I even want to go see it again in the movie
Yeah.
theater. Okay.
And
Yes.
also with you.
You get to